So here's how I managed to completely unravel my life in less than 6 weeks, all because I convinced myself I was just bored. My name's Lexi, and I used to be married to a man most women dream of having. Jake was kind, loyal, and somehow always remembered my coffee order. He never raised his voice at me, not even when I probably deserved it. We had a house with fenced backyard, a dog named Riley, and a predictable routine that felt safe, maybe even too safe. At 28, I found myself scrolling through social media, watching other women live out their exciting hot girl summer, while I lounged on a couch in pajama pants, binge-watching shows with Jake. Influencers were jet-setting to exotic places, dancing on yachts, and kissing strangers beneath neon lights. Meanwhile, I was choosing tile samples for our bathroom renovation. That's when the restlessness crept in, this nagging feeling I couldn't shake. A voice whispering, "Is this all there is? You've got the rest of your life ahead, married. What if you never find out what else is out there?" At first, it seemed harmless. I started going out more with my single friends. I wore clothes Jake might have raised an eyebrow at. Not because he was controlling, but because I usually opted for comfort over style. I even posted some flirty photos on Instagram, just for fun. When Jake asked if everything was okay, I said I was just figuring myself out. What I really meant was I wanted to feel desired again, not by the man who already had me, but by strangers who didn't know my bedtime or the days I felt low. Then came the night that changed everything. My friend Maddie threw an extravagant yacht party. Think champagne fountains, private DJs, and people filming TikToks in bikinis. I showed up in a tight green dress I hadn't worn since college. Maddie handed me a glass of rose and said, "Tonight, forget you're married." And for some reckless reason, I did. I flirted. I danced like I didn't care if anyone was watching, even though they definitely were. A guy named Trey fed me strawberries and whispered compliments so slick they felt scripted. But I soaked it all in. I felt attractive, young, alive. Later, I posted a quick story, a 5-second boomerang of me sipping rose with Trey's arm casually draped around my shoulders. I didn't think Jake would see it. He wasn't big on social media, but he did. I got home around 3 a.m., heels in hand, makeup smudged, heart pounding, because I already knew what awaited me. Jake sat silently on the couch, phone in hand, eyes empty. He didn't yell. He didn't accuse me of cheating. He just quietly asked, "Are you in love with someone else?" I said no, but I didn't say I wanted to stay. Instead, I muttered something vague like, "I need space." I thought he'd fight for me, beg me to stay, say, "Let's work through this." But he didn't. He stood, nodded slowly, and said, "If finding yourself means losing me, I hope it's worth it." I moved out the following week. The first couple of weeks were a rush. Every night was a new adventure. Clubs, spontaneous road trips, drinks paid for by men who didn't even ask my name. I had flings, new friends, and compliments from strangers online. For a while, it felt great, until it didn't. The nights grew louder, but I felt more hollow. The champagne headaches weren't glamorous anymore. The guys all started blending together. The same pickup lines, the same empty promises, the same hollow goodbyes. Then I saw Jake's name in a comment, tag in a photo from a cozy dinner party. He was smiling, relaxed, sitting beside a woman I didn't know. She had soft eyes and the glow I used to have. I texted him, "Hey, I've been thinking about you." No response. The next morning, "I miss you." Still nothing. I called and left a voicemail, awkward, apologetic, desperate. I told him I was stupid, that I missed our life, that I didn't know who I was trying to be out there alone. Days passed, then a week, then 2. Finally, I messaged one of our mutual friends, casually asking how Jake was doing. She replied in 4 words, "He's seeing someone new." I wish I could say I was happy for him, that I was mature enough to accept it, but I wasn't. I broke down, sobbing in the middle of an Uber ride home, clutching my purse as some kind driver offered me water and tissues like I was going through a breakup I hadn't even earned. Here's the truth nobody tells you when you choose freedom over real love. The world doesn't pause so you can realize your mistake. People move on. People heal. They start over, with or without you. Now, I'm in a tiny one-bedroom apartment with peeling paint, no headboard, and a fridge full of takeout I can't bring myself to eat. I scroll through old pictures of Jake and me, decorating our first Christmas tree, laughing through a terrible pottery class, eating burnt pancakes in bed because I tried to cook once and failed spectacularly. I want to tell him I finally found myself, that the new me is scared, that I regret everything, that I'd trade every wild night for one more quiet evening on the couch with him and Riley, but he won't text me back. And I get it. I left a man who was all in for a life nobody else really saw. So if you're thinking about walking away from someone who loves you because you're chasing some fantasy, ask yourself if you're ready to lose everything real for something temporary. Because once he's gone, really gone, no amount of likes, comments, or attention from strangers will fill the space he left behind. I left my husband chasing a hot girl summer and lost far more than I imagined.